Today on Fresno State Focus, we take a look at the upcoming in-person graduation for the class of 2020 and 2021.
Also, we'll give you a few tips on how to finish the semester strong after spring break.
Plus, we'll take a look at how the first virtual Peach Blossom event went. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Tonya Gurjeva.
And I'm Ashley Carter. Graduation is in person this year, so it's time to hang up your gowns to remove those wrinkles. After all the uncertainty surrounding graduation during COVID, 3 days are finally set for mid-May. CSU Chancellor and former Fresno State President Dr. Joseph Castro announced today he will greet graduating seniors at the new, socially distant location, Bulldog Stadium.
This is something that I've been dreaming of for many years now. When I initially found out that the commencement ceremony was going to be virtual, I was devastated. I was very excited to wake up to the news we were going to have our senior commencement at the Bulldog Stadium.
The last day to register for graduation is Friday. So if you've been slacking on finding that perfect graduation outfit, you'll want to decide before May.
Speaking of slacking, now is not the time as we get closer to the end of the school year. Malia Sherman, Director of Counseling and Psychological Services, advises that students should continue eating healthy, exercising, and de-stressing whenever possible. She recommends students reach out to professors or classmates for help. Also, she encourages students to not procrastinate, but instead focus on a plan.
Always use goals and action steps. So, use a paper and pen or use your computer, but physically write down a weekly goal, a daily goal, and then daily action steps. That helps you to distribute the work.
Sherman also recommends instead of keeping plans in your head, write things down. It can help cut down stress and also keep things from happening last minute.
As graduation quickly approaches, many seniors are feeling the anticipation of finding a job in their field. Due to COVID-19, graduating seniors have missed out on career fair opportunities to help them earn jobs after college. The uncertain job market has made graduating seniors nervous about post-graduation life.
The uncertainty of finding a job in 2 months after I graduate is definitely scary, but I'm not the only senior going through this, and there will be something out there for us.
The Fresno State Career and Development Center is still available for students virtually for those seeking jobs and internships. Higher Fresno State has also been a useful resource for students that can easily be accessed through their Fresno State portal.
Kaylee is not alone. The fear of not finding a job after graduation is overwhelming. Some graduates find jobs completely out of their field of study. This raises a question: is college degree really worth it? Gio Alvarado explains why students tend to struggle with this question.
The university plans to
Myra Franco graduated in the fall 2020 with a degree in broadcast journalism. Right after graduation, she found a job.
I decided to go on the job hunt. I put out my reel, and then I got a few news directors reaching out to me, and I decided to take an adventure, and I moved to South Bend, Indiana.
She's a multimedia journalist now, which means she's a photographer, reporter, and editor all in one. Andrew Gong graduated in the fall of 2016 with a degree in accounting, but he doesn't work in accounting. One classmate realized this major wasn't for him.
It was like the most boring class ever. And I was like, what am I doing here? This is awful.
So he followed his passion for books instead.
Right after I graduated, I went straight to work. So I went straight into buying and selling books. Before I started college, I thought in my head that I wanted something secure, something, with decent money, good money, with job opportunity everywhere.
Gong isn't alone. Halfway through his studies, he realized that he lost passion for his major. He was advised that switching majors would add more classes to his schedule, more time to graduate, and more money, something he didn't have, so he pushed through and graduated. Both Franco and Gong Agreed that college degree doesn't really guarantee you a job. It's a college degree plus experience.
I think what prepares you is the training.
In Franco's case, an internship and this Fresno State focused newscast helped her.
They prepared me for this job, all those hours that we put in Fresno State Focus, and it really taught me those valuable skills and training to be the reporter I am today.
Both Franco and Gong recommend if you have the opportunity to get an internship, take it. In Fresno, Gio Alvarado, Fresno State Focus.
A lot of internships got canceled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Some just got adjusted, so keep trying. Advisors can always help.
Many students have a graduation plan before they even come to college. But the pandemic has now pushed some of those students off track. For many nursing programs, lab classes are essential. One way to get in those necessary labs is to use summer intersession, but
with COVID-19, there's no lab classes, and so I'm really struggling to find schools that are offering these hard-level lab classes that I need in order to pass my nursing prereqs.
If you are having trouble staying on track, there are academic advisor appointments available.
I used to have a little card that said...
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, we take a look at the first annual College of Arts and Humanities Arts in Motion Showcase.
Plus, we find out from theater students about the difficulties performing without an in-person audience.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and bulldog bred. Generations linked forever by traditions that have stood the test of time. Inside our stadiums, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing, and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us, and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
This week marks the first annual College of Arts and Humanities Arts in Motion Showcase. Events started Monday and will run through Saturday, culminating with the Arts in Motion ceremony. The showcase highlights student work from departments throughout the College of Arts and Humanities. The remaining days will feature music performances, film productions, and several scholarly works.
The best that the arts and humanities represents. The fact that you take those creative and analytical skills and you make our community a better place. I hope that everyone realizes that and values what we do.
At Saturday's ceremony, 16 students of distinction from each department will be honored, with one announced as the undergraduate Dean's Medalist. Visit FresnoStateCAH.com to register for the remaining events.
Peach Blossom is back this semester. Cassidy Lopez shows us how the communications department made this big in-person event happen all online.
So you can stay. She tells us it's running really all day anyway.
It's Peach Blossom's first ever virtual event. Peach Blossom is a Fresno State event that gives elementary kids a chance to perform literature and poetry while also giving kids the chance to tour the campus. Unfortunately, this year, Fresno State couldn't hold the event in person.
We're having students record their presentations from wherever they may be studying. So if it's their kitchen table, great. If they're back in classrooms with their peers, great. We'll take a group of 30. We'll take a group of you and your two brothers. Like, it really is kind of however you, like, come as you are.
The students of the Fresno State Communications Department got creative with it.
Fresno State juniors and seniors are the ones that are making this happen from their 30 different households across the valley. Like, we have people from Tipton, Bakersfield, Delano, like all over the place that are trying to run this virtual festival. So all credit is completely due to them.
They created a website to showcase each student's performance video. Normally, the Peach Blossom event has about 1,500 presentations, and this year they received about 120 videos.
Additionally, they'll be receiving a lot of feedback from our team. We have a specific team exclusive to providing them with the feedback, as well as being able to comment and view all of the other aforementioned things that Elise mentioned with our community members and various celebrities, as well as kids from other schools.
Some community members even volunteer to present their own piece for the students to see. Fresno State hopes to be able to hold the event in person again next year.
Now that all the videos are submitted, I'm going to watch all the performances. Cassidy Lopez, Fresno State Focus.
If you're interested in seeing the performances, you can visit peachblossomfestival.com and click the video gallery.
If all the world's a stage, Fresno State theater students found that stage to be solitary. Trevor Widger shows us how they performed without an audience, or at least an audience in the traditional sense.
I need a second to think.
It's been a year since Fresno State theater students took on the challenge of doing shows in a pandemic. Some are reflecting on the difficulties of performing without in-person audiences.
It feels empty. Like it's still content being created, but there's just that audience element as well that is really crucial to hearing and seeing how the work is being received in real time.
While it has been challenging, the students managed to get creative and make the most of it.
I'm really impressed with a lot of the things that people have been able to do and just using their resources and what people have around their homes.
Fresno State Theater has been airing shows online during specific time slots and selling tickets to them throughout the past year. The experimental theater company recently uploaded a compilation of their shows for free on the theater's YouTube channel. Though doing shows online is not ideal, it is much safer. One student expressed his frustration with getting COVID before everything went virtual.
I was like, hey, tell everyone that I got COVID, and other people were like, no, we don't need to really worry about it. And I'm like, you do need to worry about it because I just came in contact with 20-something people.
With more and more people getting vaccinated, many are eager to return to campus this fall. He says he's still not sure that's such a good idea.
It would be smart to wait, just because no one knows what happens until it happens, and I don't think you should be making plans to go back in person only to get it canceled again just like last year.
Regardless of what the world looks like this fall, Fresno State theater students are prepared to give it their all. In Fresno, Trevor Widger, Fresno State Focus.
It's too soon to know if any performances will take place in person on campus this fall. We do know that Fresno State theater students will bring us great shows to watch from wherever is safest.
This semester, only a handful of classes, including ours, have returned to in-person learning. With just a few students back on campus, that means easy access to all the best spots in the parking lot. Wyatt Babb is out there on the hunt for a good spot now.
I'm here at the Fresno State parking lot to show you guys the best part about having in-person classes this semester. Now, every Bulldog knows about the dreaded Fresno State parking lot. Long lines to get in, no spaces, and usually long walks to get to class. If you have a class that starts at 2 o'clock and you don't get to school until 1:30, odds are you're probably going to be taking one of those long walks. But this semester is a little bit different. With just a few classes being offered in person this semester, we have our pick of the litter. And you know what? I see a spot right here up close that I think is perfect. So let me pull into this one right here. There we go. No, this isn't a weekend. No, this isn't a holiday. This is how the parking lot looks every day, Monday through Friday, no matter what. The pandemic has been hard on us all, especially us college students, and it's nice to get a win every once in a while. It's not much, but I'll take a nice, easy parking spot right up front so I can have an easy stroll to class. For Fresno State Focus, I'm Wyatt Babb.
It is pretty nice, instead of driving like 6 laps around the parking lot, to go to the first spot I see.
Too bad I don't have a car. Now I want to go and buy one.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus.
We show you what students were up to during spring break.
plus a sunny week ahead of us. We'll be right back with your Focus on Weather.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
Spring break was last week, and some students spent it taking a break from homework and getting away. Brooke Chow talked with a few students during spring break to find out what they were doing.
Getting a week off of school was what many students have been waiting for. Traveling with those in the same household and staying in an Airbnb is the safest staycation option right now. Sophomore Josephine Henderson and her family traveled down to Palm Springs and relaxed for an entire week.
We're here for a week and we're going to branch off and do some other things in Joshua Tree and the surrounding areas and just have a relaxing vacation.
Many students decided to lay low and catch up on some much-needed sleep and getting an early start on their summer tan. Although this spring break may have looked different for the second year in a row, students were still able to take a week off and spend it however they liked.
Just stay home relaxing, gonna catch up a little bit on studying, hang out by the pool, of course, and yeah, just enjoying myself.
Student spring breaks across the nation have looked different for everyone depending on their state and county regulations. If you went home like me to spend time with your pet or just a home-cooked meal for mom and dad, clearly my dog wants nothing to do with me. He didn't miss me when I was in college. A spring break is spent relaxing and rejuvenating, getting ready for the semester ahead. Brooke Chow, Fresno State Focus.
Now that spring break is over, finals are just around the corner. So let's finish strong, Bulldogs.
Add this to your to-do list. Registration for fall 2021 is coming up. Check your email and student portal for a registration date. This information is found under Student Self-Service. You can also schedule an appointment with a counselor through Zoom if you have any questions regarding your schedule.
Good afternoon. It is a beautiful day today, and it is a bright sunny day on our Fresno State campus. Let's take a look at how things are looking nationwide. We do see some cloud coverage here indicated by the gray areas of the map. We do see a rainstorm in the Midwest ranging from Texas all the way up to Minnesota. We do see some heavy rain in some areas indicated by the red areas of our map. A rainstorm is nothing for us to worry about in the Central Valley. Despite it being partially cleared with some partial cloud coverage, there was a 3.7 magnitude earthquake today at 1 p.m. It shook up some parts of West Fresno, and some of us may or may not have felt it. Today's high is going to be 80 degrees. We're all in the 70s to low 80s today. For the exception of Shaver Lake, they are still experiencing some cooler weather. Speaking of cooler weather, tonight's low will be 46 degrees. All of us sort of in the 40s range for tonight. Today in Fresno County, we have some moderate air quality, and the rest of us are breathing good in the green tier. This week, we have a sunny week ahead, nearly 80 degrees all week long, with today being partly cloudy. So go out and enjoy the beautiful sunshine. It is a beautiful day today. That was your Focus on Weather.
Hi, I'm Carissa King with your sports update. There was no spring break for student athletes at Fresno State. The women's volleyball team wrapped up their regular season last Thursday when they swept Nevada Wolfpack 3-0 in Nevada. After 2 weeks on the road, our women's soccer team also beat Nevada at home 3-1. Our women's softball team beat New Mexico 14-0 in just 5 innings with a perfectly pitched game. This will keep them at the top of the Mountain West standings with an 8-1 record. The Fresno State women's equestrian team had a lot of regulations to adhere to this semester in order to compete with COVID going on. These regulations have caused some issues with competition, but have also helped keep the team healthy.
Some things are tedious, but have to be done in order to be compliant to compete.
Being on the team during COVID has definitely been a change.
The team is required to follow up with everyday protocols.
On a day-to-day basis, we have to go get our temperature checked in the morning, get our wristband, everything like that before we can go to practice.
Athletic trainers say COVID caused more awareness among the team.
Everyone's going to be 1,000 times more careful just so that we're not, having to go through more quarantines and more isolations and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's had like a really, really big impact on like team morale and stuff too.
Not only athletes feel the pressure about the regulations and protocols, but their animal teammates run off the girls' energy and at times can feel the same way as their human teammates if they are stressed out.
I think it's been a change for everyone, and the atmosphere, of course, is pretty challenging.
Despite all the challenges of weekly COVID testing, daily temperature checks, and having to clean all equipment, the Bulldogs persevere daily.
Fresno State Equestrian has done a really good job with just kind of keeping an open mind and looking at the bright side of this whole pandemic.
The Bulldogs are excited, though, about the news that was released just a week ago, stating that there will be able to be a limited number of family members and guests of athletes and coaches at events starting April 1st.
Looking ahead, we will keep a close eye on the Fresno State women's softball team as they take on Colorado State Rams this coming weekend.
Going out to eat during the pandemic is a challenge. Restaurants are finding ways to stay open amidst so many health regulations. Wyatt Babb shows us how restaurants are working through the challenges of safe outdoor dining.
From brick and mortar to concrete and canvas, restaurants are taking on a new identity during this pandemic. Bobby Salazar's in Clovis is like many in our community, adapting to COVID-19 protocols by setting up makeshift dining areas in parking lots.
This is our second tent that we had. We actually bought this one to save a little bit more money. And the city gave us this parking lot behind us to kind of give us an area outside other than like the small sidewalk in the front, you know what I mean? They gave us this area behind us to give us a little bit more space.
The outdoor dining process has been a learn-on-the-go experience. Decisions like renting versus buying a tent and finding comfortable patio equipment have all become things restaurant owners have to think about. Not to mention finding ways to deal with the weather.
And when it first hit, it was kind of wintertime going on, so we had to get heaters, and those are heavy as well, you know what I mean? All the propane and everything, so it's a very costly thing for us to have to do.
The process has been costly in more ways than one. Restaurant owners are spending a lot to make a little, having to recreate their restaurant's experience outdoors while also following safety guidelines.
So we've spent thousands of dollars setting all this up, getting the heaters, the water coolers, TVs out here, trying to make it as best of an environment for our customers as possible to make them want to come out here and sit.
With all the added expenses, tough choices have to be made. Sunnyside Pizza owner Enrique Rosales chose to keep his entire staff during the pandemic. The cost? Limiting their hours. But the light at the end of the tunnel is what Rosales is focused on, serving a full house of customers post-pandemic with his entire staff together like a family.
We're looking forward to open this again, so we serve you as like always, like a family.
So if nothing in the fridge looks good, and you're tired of that same old stuff from the freezer, then head on down to your local outdoor restaurant. The walls may be canvas and the floor may be an old parking space, but the food tastes just as good. Just don't forget to bring yourself a mask. In Fresno, I'm Wyatt Babb, Fresno State Focus.
If you're looking to support your local restaurants but still aren't ready to go out to eat, plenty of places offer delivery.
If you are ready to go out to eat, restaurants are now allowed to have indoor dining. Georgette Garcia shows us how things are slowly going back to normal. She's at a restaurant at Sierra Vista Mall in Clovis.
According to Governor Gavin Newsom, all of this should be open by June 15th. However, in Tulare County, they are in the orange tier, meaning they have far less COVID restrictions than here in Fresno County. After a year of no indoor dining in California, COVID restrictions are slowly lifted back up. Restaurants are allowing customers the option of where to dine. We are not inside, however, because we don't want to disrupt customers enjoying their food, as well as putting extra pressure on the staff. But as you can see behind me, there are people enjoying outdoor and indoor dining. As we saw, many restaurants have had to resort to being on the street, sidewalks, and parking lots. But here at Colton Social House, they have umbrellas, lights, and even cabanas to help diners enjoy their experience. This is perfect because it's just in time for summer, and hopefully that means that we can all be going out and socializing again. It's also a positive sign for those in the workforce and trying to get back into working. If you want to know if your restaurants or favorite restaurants are back open and prepared for indoor dining, you can check online for additional information. Georgette Garcia, Fresno State Focus.
One of our school professors is now a children's book author. Dr. Larissa Mercado Lopez is a professor in the Department of Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies. She wrote a book after having her first son and noticed many books were not targeted towards teaching boys how to care for others.
There are very few images of boys engaged in caregiving, and that's not really a skill that we teach boys to do, even though the majority of them go on to become fathers. And so, when I had my son, I really started thinking about how boys are socialized to be boys, and often this means not being taught how to be caring.
Dr. Mercado Lopez's book follows the story of a boy whose superpower is to take care of others. She hopes to show what it means to be a hero to young children.
Now, it's time to meet more of our Fresno State Focus team. We've seen her anchor, and this week, she's producing our newscast. Let's learn more about Brooke Chow. Brooke is our only junior with a senior schedule. Not only is she double majoring in MCJ and communication, but she's also actively involved in student life. She's a part of the Delta Gamma sorority and is a reporter for the school newspaper, The Collegian.
I'm kind of glad I'm one of the younger ones in my classes, especially MCJ 128, because I have these awesome seniors that I can look up to and know that I'm going to be okay when I'm a senior. If they can do it, I can do it. But I'm definitely looking forward to spending more time on campus next semester and hopefully another football game. Fingers crossed.
After college, Brooke plans to be a television reporter.
Georgette Garcia is a senior with a double major in MCJ and Women's Studies. As a first-generation college student with 8 siblings, Georgette is determined to complete college and cover social issues around the world.
My plans after college is to get a career that utilizes both my MCJ and Women's Studies major. I want to help people around the world and write about topics and social issues that are important to me and as well as many other people. I really want to make a difference and help women and people all around the world.
Before the pandemic, when Georgette wasn't focusing on her studies, she loved going on music festivals and doing yoga.
Enjoy a taste of spring before the summer heat comes to Fresno.
And that's our newscast. We will see you next week with more Fresno State Focus.